Yes, indeed, everybody. It's the one and only HD, and I'm here on Hype Magazine with my brother Chris Robinson. Make sure you check out the interview. Love is love to the whole world.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Chris Robinson. Happy New Year, man. We are here, Hype Magazine, Platinum Sound Studios. We back. It's a new year, 2024. Y'all already know what I do, man, and I don't really got to say too much. But we got a special guest. I call this the comeback. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see HD in the wild, man. I ain't see HD in the wild. HD, Brooklyn's own. HD, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
HD,
Of course.
where you been?
I've been around.
Where you been?
I've been
Listen,
in Atlanta.
If I know this man hit 5 million views, everybody
yeah.
was talking about it. He's compared to Hov, his Def Jam. It was so much to unravel over that good 1 year span, 1, 2 years, about 2.5 year
About
span.
2 years, yeah.
So, but before I go into, where have you been? I think New York is allowed to ask that question at this point. We're gonna start
Growing. I think the most important thing for me was to just like take a step back and really understand just the business, people, relationships, myself as a person. I think more a personal growth is why I wanted to take a step back. Had nothing to do with the artist. I felt like I was so far ahead as the artist, but like as the person, I really wanted to just have like a certain type of growth to really prepare me for the business, and also a lot of different relationships that I've had when we were, working started to disappear as well, and things were going left and right with different managements and everything like that. So that also enforced me to really like, okay, let's just take a step back. This is not going correct. That's not going correct. What's the right thing for me to do right now? And I'm still learning myself as a person, because a lot of at that moment, like you said, with the going viral, with all of those things happening, that's coming at you like a million miles per hour. Right. So how do you deal with that? And how do you deal with people? How do you deal with the relationship with the people? How do you deal with the business? And you're young and you don't understand a lot of these things. You're just learning it as you're going, rather than having a mentor be like, let me teach you these things. And I didn't really have that. So I felt like, you know what, let me just do the right thing for myself. And that's why I was like, let me just take a step back from the music. But I still was proactive as far as putting out music on YouTube and things like that. I wasn't proactive on Instagram.
Gotcha. Yeah, because for me,
you know what I'm saying?
For me, it was like, I seen your Instagram. The last thing I remember, I'm going to go from what I remember, right? The last thing I remember was you had the Def Jam situation. You was performing at the Barclays. I believe, like, Hov was supposed to be there.
He was there.
He was there.
He was there.
I knew Hov was there. I kept telling everybody I knew it. So Hov was there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, after Hov was there, y'all, like, he was, after I didn't see you no more. Then I see you on the Instagram, it went from rapper to real estate guy. Then the page disappeared. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to take too many guesses. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure this guy was just in front of Jay-Z. He was just at Def Jam. What happened? You know what I mean? And you're right, things did move really fast. So I'm not going to go into all that now. I'm going to rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
Ghetto Sunday.
Yeah.
5 million views.
And counting, still going.
This is a fact.
Still going.
How did that come about? How did that happen? Because that's where it started to take off. Everybody's comparing you to Hov. The ball, you had Baller Alert. You had
Shade Room, Timberland.
It was so many people putting eyes on this man. So every time I turned around, I seen an ad or a post. It was the ad and the post from different pages that was like, "Is he the next Hov? Oh my God, you hear how he rap?" And you brought that sound. You brought a nostalgia feel. In that video, the Timbs, the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So how did that come apart? And how did you go viral like that?
Well, how that happened was just from listening to a beat that I thought was a great beat. I was in Virginia actually. I was recording at my brother's studio, Noah. Shout out to him. And I heard the record. Shout out to BeatStars, So Special Music Group. Those guys over there. I heard the record. It's like I liked it, and I wrote to it 2:16s at the time. And then I was like, let me change it up, because I put out Ghetto Sunday Part 2, which is the original Part 1. I didn't like it, and so I redid it. I was driving and I was writing the record.
That's the one that went viral.
Ghetto Sunday Part 1. Part 1.
Okay, Part 1. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
Part 2 was the first one that I wrote, and then Part 1 is the Ghetto Sunday.
Gotcha.
That's out now, and so I rewrote it. I was in the car, just rewriting it, and I recorded it again. We put out the song, and the song started do? Okay. And then me and my brother Anthony, shout out to Shot with Ant, my videographer, uh, was like, let's just do something that's New York. Let's not do what the typical artist does, which is get in one location and shoot a video. Let's go throughout Red Hook. Let's go through Bed-Stuy. Let's go through different, housing,
Right,
communities, and
right.
let's really gather New York. And that's what we did visually. One camera did that video. We didn't have no
Wow.
budget, no anything. One camera did
Y'all
that
see,
video.
y'all see what hard work does? No, he didn't say no budget, just
Yeah,
a camera and ambition and
yeah, that's
knowing
it.
and believing in himself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So sometimes you got to take that risk and bet on yourself.
Absolutely. So there you have it. And we literally sat there editing the video, me and my videographer, for about 2 hours, just really going through the video, putting pieces, putting it together. And we put it out one day, and it was like 25,000 views on YouTube. And it's
Wow.
because that nostalgic feel. Obviously, people were like, yo, you sound like
Right,
Jay and things
right.
like that, what have you. But I also think just because of the sound, and people want New York, a New York sound, but
Badly.
a
Badly.
reinvented sound, not the same, but like something that's like similar, but like a
Right,
reinvention of
right.
it.
We need that
And
lyricism
yeah,
back. We need
lyricism back,
lyricism
absolutely.
back badly.
And so we did that, and we saw the potential, and it was like, okay. And I didn't even like the record at the time, like how I love it now. I was like, it's a regular, it's cool. But when I thought about it, I was like, yo, I'm saying I pledge allegiance to the people in this record. This is gonna go far. And we started to put a couple funds behind it, and it just started to take off. And then Shade Room got a hold of it. They reached me in the DM. Shout out to Shade Room. Reached me in the DM and was like, can we
Wow.
post this? And they posted, and then you had that domino effect, that ripple effect of everybody. Timberland reached out to me, spoke to him directly. I still got his number. I texted him the other day. Actually, shout out to Tim.
Nice. Oh, you
Good
still
guy. We still in
keep that
communication.
relationship amazing.
And then Ferg reached out to me. Ferg wanted to sign me.
We
Shout
gonna
out
get
to
into
Ferg.
that. You said some stuff on the
On
album.
the album.
We gonna get into that. I got some juicy stuff here.
So it was a lot of, like I said, it was a lot of things just rolling one after the other. But that's how Ghetto Sunday started to take off, catch fire. And you had different influencers, who were posting it as well.
During that time, things picked up, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I seen a lot of people reaching at you. One minute I see you in Coney Island on the boardwalk. I'm like, is he with investors? I don't know. I'm running into him everywhere.
Yeah.
What was that moment like? And how did you figure out which route you were going to go? Because you did find a route at that time that seemed to be working for you.
Yeah, I think, well, at that time, and even now, still, there's people when they see a potential superstar, not just like here today, gone tomorrow, like something that's really big. Everybody's coming at you with everything and anything, and so as the artist, you look at it like, okay, I want opportunity. So let me try to entertain this one, and then I want to entertain this. I want to try to like help everybody, but then it's like you do that, and then you get yourself in so many different binds. Now you're like, you're chained to all these different relationships,
Right.
and you're like, oh snap, what do I do now? When it goes left, because relationships, can fall.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
None of these people are your family.
And none of these people,
that fast.
that
You can
fast.
make $3 million with a person,
Yeah,
and tomorrow they can switch on you. And
Easy.
you might switch on them. It may not be working for you either.
Absolutely.
So I think people need to understand that in business, that if you do meet somebody in this that end up being family, that's an amazing blessing. But most of these people here about their money. Most of the people here is about. That's why a lot of artists will be like, they were hot for 1 year, and they say, yo, why Mike ain't pushing? Because Mike has a family to feed, and you're not hot right now. You were hot last year.
Right.
And I think that's going on at these labels right now too, with
Correct.
a lot of these artists, because they're picking viral TikTok-y people that are viral off of moments and catchy shit off of a song, not off of actually working hard or putting their all into their music, into their creativity. They're just, no disrespect to the drill rappers, but gra boom, I'm gonna throw this in here, I'm gonna spin a block, and I'm gonna talk about some drugs, and it's cool.
Yeah.
So, to hear what you're doing, or, the Bennies of the Butchers Veg, we from that era, baby. You know what I'm saying? Even my son listen to old school rap, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're missing that, and I think that the labels are going through a dry spell also because of what they've put out over the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, and it's like you just said with the TikTok. I think people are making songs specifically for these entities,
sure.
And so when you do that, you get microwave music. You get it's like boom, boom,
that
boom,
middle
boom,
is
boom,
never
boom, boom,
fully cooked.
It's not gonna last you 20 years. This music,
none of it.
You know what I'm saying? You heard the album. You see where I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? Where you can listen to a full body of work. You know what I'm saying? And every song is different in its own way, and I'm still emceeing on a lot of these songs. But yeah, back to the Ghetto Sunday and how that's at that point, that was what was going on, and so many people coming at me. So I ended up getting in so many different relationships, and I'm picking sides and like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this one. And then these people, it don't go well because in the song Face to Face, when ASAP Ferg, when we were gonna do the deal, we had a record together called It's More Than You Know with Aretha Franklin on the hook. And my team supposedly would listen to the record, but then they wanted it so fast, they ended up leaking it. It ended up doing really well on Sirius XM, but then it backfired because obviously Ferg is like, yo, what's going on? And of course, how am I gonna like, yo, bro, it ain't my fault. It is my fault. They had the record. I should have learning. Now, if I do a record with somebody as such, you're not getting this. Even if you my
Best
I'm gonna
friend.
hold this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to this.
Listen.
I'm not sending this to you. I may let you hear it, but you're not gonna hold it because look, XYZ happened, leaked it, boom, destroyed our relationship. But the potential of being around that was when we knew like this is gonna happen no matter what. You know.
So do you have, and not to get messy, but do you have that same team around you now, or have things changed?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. All right, got that up out of here. Out with the old,
That's what I'm
in with the new. Got you.
Or any relationship that I had previously that wasn't beneficial for me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, but as a person, when you're growing, you learn that.
Right.
You don't learn that just being an artist. Like you gotta really like dig deep and like, let me figure out who is it I am outside of the music.
Right. And they'll run you around fast, and you won't even catch on at first.
A lot of these kids don't know who they are.
It'll just be money thrown at you, and let's go over here.
Yeah.
So even for me on the outside looking in, a lot of people may not know, but you were thrown around about 2-3 labels. You're over here.
Yeah.
I felt like at one point they were like, yo, let's try this. Let's try that with you. Because at one point you dropped a drill song, then you had this. Then you addressed everybody with the I'm Not Jay-Z freestyle, which I love to this day.
Right.
I think that was
huge.
It was big, but it needed to be said because of all the comparisons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know who was behind you at that time. But I felt like the timing of that freestyle should have came out at a different time.
Yeah.
To where it should have been right after Ghetto.
Ghetto Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
It should have been right.
Yeah.
But that's then. But I think that's very important that people see how these labels push around because they literally.
Right.
I mean, you were moving.
And I was still independent at that time. It was still just me and my team. But we just felt like it was right, like to say like, yo, this is not me. I'm inspired, and I did Goated, which is a freestyle, which is like I am Hove inspired, not Hove relying.
Yes, I remember
24
that one too.
on the court, doing the pressure, applying pressure, referencing Kobe Bryant as Jordan being his inspiration. Jay-Z is one of my biggest inspirations.
Right.
Why not? I'm from Brooklyn. You know, I have superheroes on my wall. You know what I mean? Like growing up, you had your superheroes on your wall. What's wrong with that? Why not want to, be just as good as somebody? Like, why not be inspired? And I think we need more people that can inspire the youth so they could potentially be like, yo, I like that guy right there. That's,
and it's somebody positive. It ain't nobody that's going around talking crazy. This is somebody who's made $1 billion and still going, cutting deals every day. So now you had a situation, I believe, with Def Jam though, right?
Correct.
How did that happen, and are you guys still locked in?
It's funny. So it was a subsidiary label underneath Def Jam called Varick Street. And Varick Street.
Shout out Varick.
Shout out to Varick. It's all love. I mentioned Noah Shear on the record. That's why. Shout out to Noah.
You don't call. I say names on there.
Big deal. I still move. So that was basically a distribution deal they were giving me, and it was the ability to push 2 singles with an option for a third. However, the economics behind it wasn't as major as we thought it would have been, but it was still the opportunity to have that reputation and also the name behind you. However, at that time when I was about to sign the deal, another manager that I had worked when I was 16, like I said on the record, 16 years old. So I've been at it for
I didn't know it was that long.
16 years old, trying to learn the business, trying to understand it, and I'm like, okay, this guy is gonna be a good guy for me. And my mom was like, I don't think you should, but I was so headstrong, like I need this opportunity.
Listen to mom, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason Weaver his mom's got him some bread.
Yeah. So, and he ended up coming out of the picture and was like, or coming into the picture and was like, well, we did this, and now and it wasn't even nothing really there. So that's how it was like, yo, you showed your hand so fast, and it was really nothing there. I still gotta grow. It's like, it's still gotta build. We don't have a worldwide record just yet, so he showed his hand, so that allowed me to go, you're not good for me either, and I'm gonna get away from you fast too. And so that's what with the Def Jam situation with the Varick Street, they wanted me to
Gotcha.
be the face of Varick Street to make that brand big,
Right,
and that's
right.
what it was. But like I said, now seeing what the deal was, now that I think about it internally, it's a benefit that I'm not with that situation because now I have full creative control over my brand and over my record company that we started, Reservoir RCS Entertainment,
Shout
our
out
own
as
record
well.
record label.
He's been pushing that from day one
Yeah,
too. It's a fact.
absolutely. And so now we have full creative control, and the next thing we do is going to be a joint venture rather than
Nice.
just HD signing. It's going to be
Right, right.
Reservoir RCS Entertainment Universal.
I want to speak, and this I think this is important, and I think we all go through this in this industry.
Hmm.
Being things went up and down, right? Mental health. Where were you at after so much happened? Because I know for me that I had a peak in this industry, right? And then things took a break. And it'll take you to a place where you're like, am I made for this? Can I do this? When in reality, I think that's just a part of life.
Hmm.
That's one. And two, you have to know how to bounce back no matter what it is. So mentally, where were you at when things slowed down and you took that break after like the Def Jam thing and people just kept crossing you or whatever the case may be? Where were you at mentally and how did you bounce back?
I, if we're on a number scale, 0 to 10, I would say like 7.
Mhm.
But I think when you have good people around you, shout out to TK, Eric, and
Shout out TK,
shout out
man. He
TK.
always pushing, man. Shout
Yeah.
out TK.
When you have good brothers around you, good people around you, good energy around you, good spirits around you, I think it helped you tremendously. And I think that's how I was able to really like reach some sort of equilibrium for myself, as far as stabilizing myself.
Mhm.
I was out in LA for a while as well. So I was taking like, nice little drives and seeing the ocean over there in Malibu.
Right,
And, I
right.
was on the
Guy
strand
likes the
doing
water and
like
stuff.
Malibu, Southampton, all that stuff. So I think outside of the music, I just had people that really just cared about me genuinely. So I was around those people mostly. Shout out to my brother Peter as well. I was out there with him and, we would really just like, talking and, grown men talk and me and my mom and me and my family, just people that really genuinely care for my well-being and being successful outside of the music. And
Right.
that's why the real estate came about. It was like, yo,
I was about to
what
get into
way would
that.
it be to you to be this iconic musician, but you're also a real estate mogul?
Gotcha.
Sets the bar now. Now you're
Right.
doing something entirely different.
And you can
Um,
invest in
and
yourself.
you invest in yourself, and I know investing, and I know buildings, and I know these things.
Right.
So it's just a benefit of what I'm gonna be doing as I grow into music. Is because a lot of artists don't know where to put the money. I
That's a
know
fact.
I
That's a
could get
fact.
you a joint venture.
That's a
I could
fact.
go take you, but I think at that point I was like I said a 7. Uh, and again, it was just more reflection. Every day I was reflecting, like, okay, how ask yourself why you're here and how you're gonna get to the next level
Mhm.
in your highest potential. Whether you stop partying, whether you stop going out, whether you stop with the girls, whether you stop, how are you gonna invest in yourself at this point? Are you gonna read? Are you gonna build your knowledge? Are you gonna work out? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna meditate? Whatever it is people
Right.
do to invest in themselves. That's what I was doing at that time, and that's how I was able to bounce back with the help of everybody I was around
You
to
could
say, hey
definitely
H, get back into the music.
you could definitely see the change because when I interviewed you 3 years ago, you came in as a hip hop artist with a
Yeah,
hat and
yeah,
Tim's. Today you came in. The first thing you said was, "I'm coming from the office." He
yeah,
didn't even come in as a rapper. He
yeah,
came in dressed up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Looking real nice. And I'm like, wait, is this the rap? Like even right now, y'all gotta understand where his mindset is at. From 3 years ago, because the interview is still on my page where you can
Yeah,
compare it. Where it was like, all right, he's full blown rapper. Today you're
yeah,
an entrepreneur and someone
right,
who is an artist.
right,
It's not just rapper and
right,
trying to figure this out. And I think that's very important for artists to understand that
right,
you need to find your business route. You need to learn the business. But that I don't think hip hop is end all be all when this is a stepping stone for most. And a lot of artists from our time
hmm,
didn't learn that until now where they're jumping into podcasting and all this because some of them are losing money and ain't collecting royalties the way they should be
right,
or if their deals were wrong or whatever. So
right,
it's very important to follow behind what HD is doing and what he's saying because I think having that business behind you gives you a cushion. And if it ain't working out with the labels, you got your own money to put behind yourself. And when it's like that, you can't be stopped. You cannot be stopped. If you got your own money, more money is going to come in and
hmm,
somebody's going to see it and they're going to elevate you to the
hmm.
next level.
And you
So
have your own leverage.
If facts, I messed up and not even using that word.
You have your own leverage.
Leverage is super important.
Like, we may not have the $1 trillion, but
Right.
we make it work. If we need to make something happen, we have our meetings, me and my team, and say, let's focus on this. But we know how to strategically say, okay, this is important. Then we're gonna focus on this thing. Then we're gonna focus on this thing, just as well as throwing out content. We're not gonna throw all the content out for you to see it in one
Right.
day. We're gonna put one here, put one here. You're gonna spread it out, so you get it. You get a week's worth of content over 3 months.
Right, right.
And then we got just like the album, same thing. It was
I was
like
about to get into the album right
already
now.
done.
So with the album Face to Face, and you've dropped EPs. I think this is your first album, right?
First album.
Okay,
Debut
so
album,
because you
yeah.
have a couple EPs that was dope. You know what I mean? I went to one of your release
Gallery
parties.
Fantastic, shut up.
Yes, yo, always support you. You know what I'm saying?
Chris, my man, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
This album's about 17 tracks, I think.
17, yeah.
And what I noticed with this album was you didn't follow any trends. You I always mess up the song. I don't know why.
Ghetto Sunday is a
Ghetto
bonus
Sunday.
track,
I don't know why I
yeah.
keep saying ghetto gospel.
Ghetto gospel. You use ghetto
yeah,
gospel.
that's I keep thinking. I don't know why.
That's what it sounds like, though.
No, that definitely does. It definitely
Absolutely.
does. You got that on there. You threw oh my God, what's
She
that
Gonna?
song? Not She Gonna. It's
Drug for the Night.
Yes.
Yes, which is crazy.
Yes, because you had that from
I had
years
that in
ago,
the
and that's what I
ready.
was looking for. I was like, is he gonna
Yeah.
change everything? Is he still
Yeah.
gonna? So how did that album come about? And you kind of dropped it surprisingly. So what made you do that?
So the album, I mean, it stemmed from, shout out to TK and anybody who say, yo, H, just go, just do it.
That's exactly what he did.
Like, just go do it. Like, what? Because we know no matter what I do, I can be good at. And whether it's music, whatever it is. And with the music, I do have the package to get to the superstar level where we see ourselves. And I see myself. So that's where the idea, everybody, my team, like, let's just drop a project. Like, we were debating, like, should we drop a single? Should we do this? Should we do that? But I'm like, if I made them wait for 2 years,
why not
I
just drop
gotta give them a body of work that expresses everything that I've gone through up until today. And all we did, we literally went in the studio and was like, okay, we got hundreds of songs. Doop. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, so all of these songs were already, all
All done.
And I'm guessing Face to Face
Face to Face is new. Face to Face is new because Face to Face is the whole.
Everything that you've been going through.
Yeah. But everything was just like 1, track 2, track 3, track 4.
You know who they did that with though?
Yeah.
DMX.
Yeah.
DMX and Irv Gotti says that he goes, especially with Get At Me Dog, he was like, they didn't know what to do. I just took his rhyme book. I took a verse from 1993. I took a verse from 1998, and I said, let's call Sheik and put him on the and sometimes it'll just happen like that, And I think that's great because artists need to know. A lot of people think they could just check in, you know what I'm saying? Just rap. You got stuff that is timeless that nobody would even know you wrote this shit 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, I've been had this in the tuck.
It's good music.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's all we really did. Face to Face, like I said, we recorded that, but everything else was pretty much new. It was like, I already had it, so, and that's what you want as an artist. You want to have a body of work.
I mean, cut you off. The intro.
The intro was also a freestyle that I had recorded 2 years ago.
This guy, man.
So it was like,
I'm thinking like, wait, what did I'm like, the intro sounded a little fresh and new.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, because when I listened to the album, I felt like you changed your sound. But now it shows that you didn't change your sound. You have different styles in the tuck. And during that time when you did your run, it was like just hip hop. You touched a little drill.
Yeah.
Hearing that, I'm like, oh, he's going a different route. And it's not that you went a different route. You literally have it there. It's just whenever I need to use it.
Correct. And I'm still myself. Like a lot of those songs are very, you got some songs that are it got like a southernness to it. You got some West, got like She Gunna and Night Shift. Then you got the Julan with like a West Coast feel. And then you got like the more storytelling records where it's like Northeast.
Those are my shits. Storytelling records is my shit.
It's so many flavors on that album. And I think that's why it's going to break in any market because you got a song for everybody, whether it's Drug for the Night, whether we doing model goals, angles pose, which is not for TikTok, but it is a TikTok friendly song in a generation where everybody's taking selfies and pictures. But I think that's how the album came about. We were sitting in the studio, it was like, okay, let's pick this, because that's what I have. I have hundreds of songs. I have hundreds, so many freestyles. So all I got to do is just put out whatever. Every time I go to the studio, it's just like, okay, I'm doing another song now. I'm doing more
Gotcha.
songs. I'm just adding on. It's never so if when I go to do the second album and the third, it's not gonna be any pressure. Let's
Kinda
just put it
that,
together.
kind of that Tupac effect.
That's
That Tupac.
yeah,
That
yeah.
Pac had, yo, Pac just
100, yeah.
go in there. Remember, he had a clip. He
Yeah.
said, go in there, catch a couple of I write down 10, 15 songs, we smoke some weed, and we leave, and then I figure out what I'm gonna do with it. And it's like,
it.
And then after that, we'll put the drums on it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's a fact.
That's
a
it.
fact.
And you want to have that, but that goes to show you like the amount of work I can put in, or I am putting in when I go to studio record 6 songs, because I already have them in my head, or if I already have them written down, and I'm already prepared though. I'm already like, when I go to the studio, anytime I go to the studio, we're gonna make music.
Right.
Even if I go in there and say I'm gonna just do drops, we end up making a song or
Now,
4.
You did the album release party. Why not to have the album release party in New York? Why have it in Atlanta? Even though I love Atlanta, shout out Atlanta.
We are gonna have it in New York.
Okay,
We are
awesome,
still planning the album release party. We still gonna do it out here. We just wanted to do it in New York and Atlanta. I think that's the goal, to have it in 2 different locations. May have one in Miami too. We'll figure that
Y'all
out.
had it already, or it's coming up?
It's coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So
So
we'll
let them
send,
know the date and everything.
yeah, we'll let everybody know the date once we have it and
Okay,
everything like
okay.
that. Once we have it set in stone. But yeah, that's how the album came about, and all the producers on there. You know, shout out to Swag, shout out to Fresh, Nosh, my engineer, who I
Nosh,
referenced.
shout out Nosh.
Yeah, Nosh
man.
is incredible.
Nosh, that's that guy.
That guy. Oh my
Definitely.
goodness.
Shout
So,
out Nosh, man. Y'all can go check him out. Y'all in Brooklyn.
Yeah, super touch. That's
Yo,
my
you
guy.
shout him out all the time.
Greetings,
on the joint,
Nosh.
man. I say, yo, I hear Nosh name because my artist Tazzy, and then I got a Weather Park also, but I work with both of them, and that's where we go. So, and Weather is a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
He shouts you out all the time.
Likewise.
Shout out Weather Park. That's the youngest son
Shout out to Weather.
of Old Dirty Bastard. He's on 36 Chambers.
Mhm.
He bigs you up all the time.
Yeah, he's a good
bro,
brother.
you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
He's another
Yep.
one that's trying to push the lyricist thing.
Yeah.
This is where I was going with that. Who are you paying attention to in New York right now coming up? Give me at least 3 that catch your ear. I know it's a lot of drill out there, but there's who you male or female?
You know, I'll be honest
New York,
with you.
this is New York. This is the problem. Because I only got one name in my head. And that sucks because I asked him for 3. New York, this is a problem. You hear me? Because I can name you about 5 Atlanta rappers and all these other places that's lit. Memphis, all of that. This is a problem. I do this every time and I can't get names.
I can't.
Shout out Kaya, baby, because that's the one that popped in my head.
Shout out to Kaya.
Kaya, yeah.
Shout out to Kaya. Because I met you. So actually, me and her met in LA at my boy's crib at the time. We were in LA in West Hollywood, and she came and we was able to speak a little bit. So shout out to her. Yeah, Kaya is definitely.
I feel like she needs more respect.
Yeah. She's definitely there. But to be honest, it's what I'm listening to right now. I'm not listening to a lot of rap, hip hop right now. To be honest, I'm not really.
I hear that a lot from a lot of people.
Not really listening
too.
to a lot of rap right now. I'm listening to mostly like a lot of like, you know, Whitney and Marvin right now. I'm really just taking it back. The OJs, I'm really going
twice. Little Papa too. He was bringing
different
up
sounds, country and classicals, and I'm listening to different music right now. So I have periods. I have periods. Yeah, I have periods of what I go through. So that's what I'm listening to right now. The Ohio players, the Whispers. I'm listening to that right now. Anita.
Wow.
So that's where I'm at musically right now.
That's
so
my
I'm
grandmother
really,
type of music.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I haven't really put so much energy into. But I'm sure whoever's out there, I respect you and thank you for keeping the lyricism alive, keeping the MC credibility alive. However, make music people can dance to. That's what I would say, and which is gonna help New York become the capital of hip hop. You know, and that's what I'm doing with that album. As you know, a lot of those songs, like
I said that. I said
it's
you have like a lot of up tempo,
club, up tempo, clean, feel good records. Because that's what you have to do.
You're not getting spin the blocks and kill from HD.
Yeah.
That's
not gonna get that.
Not getting that.
Maybe you'll get it, but you won't hear it. You're gonna go past your head. It'll go over your head like a widow's.
Nah, I remember when we did this on our last interview, but you did what was it called? The Exorcist flow.
Yeah.
He does a drill track, but he called it the Exorcist flow.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, what? He's like, yo, I'm taking the bad out of
all
drill.
That's what the Exorcist is.
And I was
exorcism.
like, oh, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't take well to that because they want to be demons all damn day.
Yeah. And that's why I said it's the Exorcist flow.
Yeah, like they wasn't trying to hear that. They're not trying to get their soul clean right now.
Demon time all time.
All day, drill and spin and drill.
Yeah. And you know, much love to whoever's doing that. That's his own energy. However,
I think
you
the
want to
energy
make,
is. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
you
Sorry.
good.
It's changing.
Yeah.
I just watched. My son just told me like D Thing and K Flock just squash their beef.
Mhm.
K Flock is unfortunately his circumstances is what it is, but he's pushing for stopping the violence, and I think it's
Mhm.
important. I think that's another reason why New York fell off was because even though these kids were hot, they were hurting each other. They were outside, literally committed crimes, rap about it, and then all the best ones went to jail. The Chef G's, all of them. Those are the, you know what I'm saying? These
Yeah,
are the ones that were
unfortunately.
lit 2 years ago that we were continuously streaming, not the ones that had that one song. That were they're all locked up or rest in peace, and it's fucked up. So we need you guys to stay out of trouble. We need to bring back good music. I think Chef is a great artist too.
Yeah.
He doesn't just do drill rap. He really actually raps.
Mhm.
So I'm waiting for him to come home also. And New York, we need to bring back that feel, and that's what HD is doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's needed here in our
Yeah.
city badly. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like for me, the responsibility is to carry the torch for Brooklyn and for New York. Considering my whole like life, I look at it from where I was raised. Biggie Smalls lived around the corner from me on St. James. I lived on Cambridge. If you look at
Wow.
our houses on a map, you'll see like our houses aligned, and then right there's Jay, and then like how I grew up, all my elders were like always comparing who was the best when I was a youth. And so I heard those conversations. So I started to study those guys. And then in my household, on every level, you had different music. So you may have had Marvin Gaye on the first floor, you had Aretha on the second floor, you had Brian McKnight on the third, you had Prince on the fourth, and then you come back, the next day and you got the same music happening, but different artists. So I
Right.
grew up in that, and I think just that alone lets me know like I am meant. It wasn't like I want to be a rapper. It was like this is just who I am. I am
Right.
an artist. I wanted to go back to that Barclays thing. That was
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
That was the it's gonna happen moment for me because you couldn't have planned that. Nobody planned it. It was like
You said
okay,
it at the
it
interview
was it
when
was
I
crazy.
interviewed you. We were talking about the Jay-Z thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, do you think he heard the music?" You said he heard the music, and I'm gonna perform in front of him soon. Watch.
Yeah.
And like 6 months later, he was
Yeah.
at the Barclays.
That was
So
that was
did
the
you guys
craziest
ever
thing.
get to actually interact yet, or
Soon we
have?
will.
Okay,
Soon we
respect.
will.
Anything
And
that he talk, he manifests.
yeah,
So
soon,
Manifestation at its
soon,
finest.
soon we will. And I think it's gonna be like, I always look at how Jordan used to talk about, like how he talks about Kobe, like how he would call him at night and be like, "Yo, how did you do that move? Like, how did you get there?" And I feel like that's probably gonna be like the situation,
he's
because if
watching.
if I'm great and somebody is like coming up and they're inspired by me, I'm gonna be like, "Oh wow, that's different." And nobody else is like that. That's unique. That's like, but you're from Brooklyn. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm from, and I grew
Yeah.
up in the household of that. So I think what with the Barclays was incredible because everybody was like, what if he's there and he gets
That's
to
what I was,
see
Joe. I
you
was watching on
live?
Instagram and everything. Yo, if
Like,
he pulls this
what if
off,
he's there?
he's lit.
And this will, I hope this clarifies the thing. Like, oh, is he gonna approve? And is he like? It's
Yes.
my mom would tell you. She was sitting like they were literally like in line with each other. She was on the other side of the court. He was on this, and she was going crazy. My mom. So you knew who my mom was at that when I was performing, cause and then he looked over and was like, and he was watching the jumbotron like this, the whole just going with it, and that's when I was like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy when I shoot. You know what I mean? Because you gotta respect it, and the whole arena went crazy. This is a song called "Celebrate," which I recorded 4 years ago, and it's still relevant today. And the whole arena is reacting to that song. And that's when I knew, like, no matter what I do, if I take a break, I still can get the people, no matter what I do, because I have that effect. And he saw that, and I was happy for him to see me in the flesh. Like, yeah,
You know
I'm
what I
here.
like about you? You live up to your own goals and your own, you know what I mean? You live in
Yeah.
your own world. Like the outside, like, yo, you gotta have a chain, you gotta have a mirror, you gotta have this, you gotta do that, none of that lives in your world. You know,
Yeah.
you're very militant with what you do and how you think. And I think that's very important because
Yeah.
confidence is the number one thing. You know, they might say that, some of us are crazy, but you gotta be just a little bit of crazy to even deal with all of this. You know what I mean? You gotta be crazy to deal with this. This shit
Chris,
is
you gotta
crazy.
be
This shit is crazy.
you. You have to be. I always, for me, it's like I had to ask myself, are you willing to sacrifice your whole life for one thing? Like to be a musician, that's going to travel the world and speak to billions of people around the globe.
Mm.
Are you willing to set that aside financially? Are you willing to take those finances that you got to put to that and put it here, knowing that's going to hurt you long term? Are you willing to have that relationship, end because you want to keep doing music? Are you willing to lose that person, your friendship or your relationship with that person to get this place?
That's exactly what you're
That's
going to go
all
through.
you're going through.
Literally.
And God, not to get too spirit, but like it's like,
go ahead.
are
You
you
can preach
really,
on this show.
are you really willing to work hard and grind and sacrifice not going out partying and what have you and digging deep and perfecting your craft and speaking with your team every day? And are you willing to go home and are you willing to do that? Are you willing to take your little bit of funds that you have to put it to this, even though you don't even know the result? Are you willing to? I want the universe to know that I'm working. I don't want the universe ever be like, yo, you don't deserve this because you let a day slip. I'm not letting no day slip. So I know what I'm going to do, you know what I mean? And that's why, again, going back to, I could take a step back because I needed to grow in all these ways. And I feel like if I watch myself, now I'll be like, oh, so I know, and like I told Veg, I'm still in the beginning. I'm not even like,
just scratching the surface.
I'm still like growing. So I'm happy that I was able to go through every scenario which artists try to avoid or haven't gone through, that I was able to experience it early on. So now I know what to do going forward. And then when I talk to my A&Rs at my company, this is what you got to do with your artists and how you break your artists. And this is what you need to do. Mentor them. Don't just be like, yo, here's some money, here's a chain. Go on Instagram and go pretend like you're that person. Find yourself first. Find yourself first. Eat the right things. Work out. Get the right, all this, the building the person first.
Right, that's
because you're not good as a person. How can you be the artist?
That's a fact.
So man.
I agree with you 100%. I got one last question for you. It's been on my mind. It's kind of outside of that, but what do you prefer, 90s or 2000 when it comes to hip hop? What is?
I can't decide that. That's
you gotta
hard.
pick one. Give me one. Would you throwing in Wu-Tang or you going? Know what I mean, you gonna throw in Dipset? Which one? I need to know. I'll tell you which one.
That question. That answer would be Dipset.
Yeah, all day.
Wow, that's very difficult.
About the errors, because I thought about it on my way in.
Well, I feel like
I know that you're influenced by those errors, and
I feel like the '90s influenced the 2000s, so I got to go with the pioneers.
Respectfully,
Veg
like that. Veg like that.
I gotta go with those who pioneered the the hip hop culture, and then before that, back to house music. Gotta go to that too. You can't forget about the house music that led to where we are today in many aspects. House music
was big.
The culture.
Yeah,
that's
it was
really
big.
Even Jungle Brothers, exactly. So but yeah, I would say 90s. Yeah.
All right, and before we get out of here, man, I just want you to give a word of inspiration to the audience out there, and we're gonna get up out here.
Well, like I was saying, anything you do good in life, you're gonna have to make the ultimate sacrifice. And anytime you try to do something good, there's gonna be barriers in your way. There's gonna be all sorts of people that tell you no, distract you. But you gotta have the vision to be where you see yourself. And you have to live that visually, mentally, like a ritual every day until you obtain it. And just believe in yourself. Just never take no for an answer from yourself. And always face yourself. Compete with yourself, nobody else. Love is love.
It's a big fact. And Remy, get back with Papoose. We out of here, man. You already know what time it is. Chris Robinson, Hype Magazine, HD,
Hype.
Everything HD
Love is love.
On Instagram.
Yes,
Face
sir.
to Face out now. Album release in Atlanta. Album release in New York. Dates coming soon. Y'all already know. And,
Absolutely.
hug your kids, love your wife. I'm out.
Love is love. Peace.
All right.